Now, I'm a World of Warcraft player, but like a lot of other players, I took a little break to try out the launch of Diablo 4. Now, I'm probably mostly going to make WoW videos in the future, but while I was playing Diablo 4, I realized there was one character I just absolutely needed to make a video about. And that character is the man who's racked up more kills than anybody, I think. I don't know the facts on that, so don't check me there. But that man is the Butcher. The Butcher does what the Butcher wants, and the Butcher also shows up when the Butcher wants, and he'll always be stronger than you because he will always scale to your level to come over and fuck you. And if you're a hardcore character, well, you better say goodbye, because if the Butcher comes in, you're not coming out unless you like run away. That's what most people do. They try to just escape him because they're pussies. They can't fight him like a man. But before we get too far into the Butcher in Diablo 4, the Butcher isn't just in Diablo 4. He's been in almost every Diablo. So let's take it back a little bit and go to Diablo 1. Now in Diablo 1, the Butcher is like the first boss in the game. You just go down there and you kill him. At least that's the base idea. But this dude, the Butcher, he's been running rampant. When you first start the game, you walk over towards the dungeon and there's a dude laying there dead on the ground. Why? Because the Butcher, he came up and fucked up everybody in the town, and then he just ran back down to his dungeon. He's got everybody in this town scared shitless. Like, listen to this guy right here.
Trapped in a room with so many bodies, so many friends. No!
So it's up to us to go down there and defeat the Butcher. But let me tell you, this Butcher is no easy feat. And when you run into his room, first off, his room is just corpses and bodies everywhere. It's disgusting. You know, I wasn't born in 1996 yet. All right, but I got to imagine if I was a kid in 1996, being in a dungeon in Diablo 1 in the middle of the night on my old school computer, and then I find this Butcher's lair and I open the door and he goes,
fresh meat.
I gotta imagine I'm gonna shit myself as a little kid. But even as an adult, this guy is probably impossible to fight because you know what he does? He just swings his big old cleaver non-stop, no breaks in between, no different attacks, just that one swing, and he'll just kill you because it's fast, because he's huge and strong. And that's just in the official release of the game. Now before, there is an original version of the Butcher fight that got scrapped. But in the original version, you find the Butcher's lair, but the Butcher's nowhere to be found. So you go back to town, and one of the kids, he's all messed up and he gives you a riddle. But when you solve the riddle, you use a portal, and that takes you to the real Butcher's lair. And the real Butcher's lair is like a real boss battle zone. It seems like something that would have been really cool. Like, why did Blizzard scrap this? I don't know. I guess Blizzard, you know, has a history of not giving us cool stuff that was originally planned. The Butcher is not even in Diablo 2, so I don't understand how anybody says this is the best Diablo. There's not even the Butcher in this game. It can't be the best one. Now in Diablo 3, well, the Butcher, he's the end boss of Act 1. And yeah, he's pretty easy. He's kind of slow. There's a lot of room to work around, especially if you're ranged. Like if you're a demon hunter, you just kill this guy. It's easy. I don't think anybody struggles on the Butcher in this game. So I don't really think there's much to say about the Butcher in Diablo 3. He got his redesign though, and that's kind of what they stuck with from the future. So that's cool, I guess. Now, yes, the Butcher is in Diablo Immortal, but I like to pretend that this game does not exist, so let's just keep doing that. And now we finally get to Diablo 4. And I think Diablo 4 has the best version of the Butcher yet. Because how do you get to the Butcher? Where is he? Is he a story boss? What's going on? No, none of that. The Butcher will just show up in any dungeon anytime he chooses to. All right, I think the actual logistics is it's like a 1 in 50 chance of him showing up. But he could show up 2 dungeons in a row. He could go days without showing up. You never know when the Butcher's gonna show up because he shows up when he wants to. And guess what? He's always going to be scaled to your level. So it's not like you gear up to face the Butcher. Because first off, you won't even be ready. And when you do, he's always going to be slightly stronger than you. Hardcore characters, they usually don't even try to fight the Butcher. They run away, they town portal, escape rope, anything to get away from this guy. In the first week of Diablo's launch, he got almost 6 million player kills. Now imagine how big that number would be if you were forced to fight him, if there was no means of escape. Imagine how many hardcore players would die to the Butcher because they couldn't escape him. And even when you do manage to kill the Butcher in Diablo 4, well, don't think you're safe, because the Butcher will come back. You see, the Butcher is not a unique demon. He's not a singular person. The Butcher is not the Butcher. He's a Butcher, because there is more than one. They make these guys like they're nothing. They're not unique. It's just a type of demon. It's just an amalgamation, abomination of a bunch of demons into one, and then they call it the Butcher, and then he goes out and kills whoever he wants to. So there is no more stopping the Butcher, because he will always come back in Diablo 4. But talking about the Butcher is one thing. I needed to go and face the Butcher for myself, experience it for myself. So I went on a hunt for the Butcher. Now, obviously, I'd face the Butcher while playing the game, but for the sake of the video, we're gonna hunt him out again. And during this is when I realized you don't hunt the Butcher, because the Butcher hunts you. I played for like almost 2 days straight while trying to record it, and I didn't find the Butcher for like 2 days. But then finally, when I was doing a dungeon, the Butcher decided to show his fat face, and I decided to take him head on and fight him. And I'll be honest, he was kind of whooping my butt, and I thought it was over. But then I decided, you know what? I'm just gonna cheese him. And I ran over to a pillar, and I just ran around the pillar so that he couldn't hit me, and then I could just slowly kill him with dots. And then I killed the Butcher. But killing the Butcher in Diablo 4, honestly, it wasn't enough for me. I needed to kill him in Diablo 1 as well, because that one seemed sick. And I never played Diablo 1, so I kind of wanted to. And man, this game felt like it was made in 1996. And keep in mind, I had no knowledge of Diablo 1 going into this. I never played the game before. So on my first character, yes, I died. And I forgot that in old games, you actually have to save the game. And I never saved, so yeah, we had to restart from the beginning. And on my second character, we even made it down and saw the Butcher's room. And I was ready. I was getting prepared to face him. But then I got jumped by some skeletons. And on my third character, we made it to the second floor. And I searched the entire second floor for the Butcher's lair. And I just couldn't find it. It wasn't there. I searched everything. I looked it up online, and sometimes the game save doesn't start with the Butcher's quest. So my game save did not have the Butcher's quest. So I once again had to start a new game. But finally, on the fourth try, I made it down to the Butcher's lair. And I even got super lucky because I got a unique weapon that did plus 200% damage to demons. And yes, that helped me very much, because when it was finally time to face the Butcher, I killed him in like 2 hits. It was actually really easy. But then while I was doing more research for this video, I found out you can actually play the cut content version of Diablo 1 with the Butcher's lair. So I downloaded it and I went to go play it. And well, let me tell you, this version of Diablo 1 had a much higher difficulty than the original. All right, it took me a little bit longer to get to the Butcher's lair, and then when I finally did, though, we made it in. And we saw the cutscene, bro. I didn't even mention this before. There's a cutscene where the Butcher is just chopping up bodies and throwing them on the meat hooks, and then he goes, fresh meat. Can't wait to put you on a hook next. And I went in, and I got destroyed. He destroyed me. I got my ass beat, I think multiple times. I couldn't beat the Butcher on this version of the game. He was that much stronger than me. And, you know, I was almost ready to give up. And I thought, you know, maybe I could just restart new games over and over until I get my character geared up to be the best. But then I decided, you know what? I'm just going to do what any reasonable person would do. I made a sorcerer and then I killed him first try.